Hey folks, welcome back to our short retro gamer. I just thought I'd quickly go through the team news for Leeds United's first game back in the Premier League. It's going to be against Everton. It's going to be on Monday. It's going to be an evening kickoff. And should be one of the last games, if not the last game of match week 1. So you can see the squad as it is currently, as we're recording. There is talk of a couple of more players that Leeds are trying to get at this moment in time. However, they won't be at the club in time to be able to feature. So, in the meantime, what have we got? Goalkeeper wise, it's probably a toss up between Lucas Perry, Carl Darlow and Illemillier. At the end of the day, Meslier has been Leeds' number one, certainly in most recent times. However, in the last couple of seasons or so, he's played the majority of a season and then been dropped for the final few games in favour of Carl Darlow. So, with the signing of Lucas Perry, it looks very much like, and as you can see on the graphic there, that with Perry taking the number one goalkeeper shirt, Illemillier currently doesn't have a number. I mean, he will have somewhere, but he hasn't played without the number one shirt in pre-season. But then obviously Perry played 45 minutes in a friendly, and that took away Mellier's number. So we would have to assume at this point that Meslier is likely to be out of the picture, unless he is named on the bench instead of Darlow. However, Darlow has also played quite a bit of pre-season, and from a fitness point of view, is probably currently the fittest goalkeeper that we have. And with that, and on the basis that Perry has only played 45 minutes of friendly football in pre-season, as much as Lucas Perry has been brought in as Leeds United's new number one first choice goalkeeper, there is a possibility that Carl Darlow, on the basis that he has played more games in the pre-season, could feature against Everton. I think it's a 50-50 between Perry and Darlow. Perry has obviously been brought in to be the number one, but I just wonder whether Farke might decide that he wants Perry to get a little bit fitter to recover from his injury before he gets put in as first choice. Right back. This could be a certain issue here. Jayden Bogle is rumoured to be injured, or certainly not fully fit yet. So with this being the case, there is a choice of either Sam Byram, who technically speaking is probably seen as the club's backup left back, despite the fact that he is a natural right back. And then the other choice is Isaac Schmidt. Schmidt played quite a bit of football in pre-season, but he seemed to struggle a little bit, and Sam Byram is a reliable defensive right back, and with it being the first game of the season, I just wonder if Sam Byram might get the nod if Jayden Bogle is not fit enough. It's a shame because Bogle did look good at the start of pre-season. He looked good in the games we played, but then, as I say, did not feature late on. So if Bogle's not available, I think Farke may go with Byram, but I wouldn't rule out Schmidt on the basis that Schmidt has played in the right back role. Byram a little bit more of a supporting left back. But for me, I would, if Bogle's not fit, I would go with Byram. Gudmundsson, he's got through all the pre-season without any issues as far as I'm aware, and has looked pretty good, so he'll come in at left back. So small centre back crisis, in the sense that both of our new centre backs, in the shape of Sebastian Borneo and Jakob, are both unavailable. So Biol is suspended from his final match of last season when he wasn't even at Leeds, which I find ridiculous. And Seb Borneo, unfortunately, has got a minor injury. So the centre-back pairing, as things stand, is looking like last season's partnership of Joe Rodon and Pascal Strout, which I think against Everton should be okay. I would like to see Borneo and Biol get an opportunity, which I'm sure they will do once they're both available. But it's a good quartet of centre backs to have. I think centre back is possibly our strongest department in the entire squad now, with those four. If we get desperate, we've even got Captain Ethan Ampadu that can drop back into defence if required, and apparently even Anton Stack can do that as well. I would prefer both of those boys in midfield rather than centre back personally. So, moving on to the midfield. Now this is where things change a little bit from last season. Throughout the entirety of pre-season, we seem to have been using a 4-3-3 with the ball and a 4-5-1 without the ball. And this is very different to the 4-2-3-1 that we used for the entirety of the championship time. So this is where things could possibly change a little bit in terms of midfield. So, I mean, I would like to think that there is a possibility that both Anton Stack and Sean Longstaff could start the game, and that would obviously be alongside Ethan Ampadu. However, you can't count out Tanaka, who was excellent for the entirety of last season, or even Ilya Gruev, who has also looked very good in pre-season. Midfield is not a position that I would like to even hazard a guess on. Again, quite good depth. Quite good depth in midfield as well. You've even got the likes of Brendan Aronson, who, could play as like an advanced 8. Possibly. A little bit lightweight for an 8 in my opinion, but he is versatile enough to play possibly an 8, 10 or even on the wing, on the right side, so you never can tell with that one. But I would, if I was to stick my neck out and go for 3 midfielders, I think he might go for Ampadu, Tanaka and Stack. I think Farke might go for those 3. But that's not ruling out at all. That is not ruling out Longstaff or Gruev. Personally, I think Longstaff needs to be used a lot this season because of his experience. And again, it's the first game back in the Premier League. I think you want the most experienced lineup you can put out, really. Just because he's captain, I don't think it automatically means that Ethan Ampadu plays. If it wasn't for the fact that Farke once said that Ampadu was his best player. Now, obviously, Ampadu won't be the squad's best player anymore with some of the signings that were made. But that's how highly he is in regard in terms of Daniel Farke and the club. And he is captain for a reason. So, yeah, that's my shout for midfield. But that is a hard one to call. I think it's the choice of the third midfielder. I think Ampadu plays because he's captain, and I think Stack has to play. Stack has looked excellent in pre-season and looks like he can do a bit of everything. He's a big unit, so he's good aerially, good on the ball, good passer, good tackler, can take a free kick or a set piece or corner, and reasonably quick for a guy his size as well. So I think Stack has to play. And then I think Ampadu plays because he's captain and that's how highly Farke rates him. So then it's a choice of that third central midfielder. That then is either Tanaka, Gruev or Longstaff. Could be any of those three, I think. So, moving on to the wings. Aronson's looked quite bright on the right side, but he's not a natural winger. But he has looked reasonable, he's looked decent. Jack Harrison has also played quite a bit of the friendlies. Has done okay. But he's obviously got a lot to do to try and get back into the fans' good books if he is to stay on for the season. Dan James has played some of pre-season, but again has had a bit of an injury. Wilfred Nonto has played quite a lot of pre-season and has looked good actually. Nonto's looked good. And then Laji Ramazani, trying to think if he's actually started a friendly. I think he's come on as a sub every time if I remember right. I just feel that I get the impression that Farke rates Ramazani as a player going forward, but questions his work rate for the defensive side of it. And in the Premier League, we can't rely on players that won't do the hard yards to run back and help defend. And this is something that I think Ramazani has had to work on. Now, if fully fit, at this stage I'd be using Dan James on the right and Wilfred Nonto on the left. On the basis that I'm not 100% certain if Dan James is fit, I'm going to stretch my neck out here and say, because he has used Aronson quite a bit in pre-season, does that get Brendan into the 11? Right side would be Dan James if he's fit, and that's without question. I don't think you can drop Nonto based on how well he's done in pre-season. I think he's done well. He looks good. He looks up for it. I can't fault Aronson much though on the right. He's worked hard. He tracks back and defends when he's been on that right wing, and he can, he can attack. This is a difficult one. You could even put Schmidt on the wing, I don't think Schmidt's a fullback. We signed him as a fullback. I don't think he's cut out to be a fullback. I think that Schmidt could be retrained and he could be made into a winger or a 10 or an attacking midfielder. He's got the qualities to do that. But he ain't got it for being a fullback in my opinion. I don't think he's got the pace. Like, he's not slow, but he gets out of position, so he's got further to go. Whereas if he's further forward, it'll be easier for him to stay in position. And, because he does have some defensive capability, he'd be able to, to trap back when he's, if he's playing on the wing. But yeah, I'd retrain him and maybe even try and make him a central player. Make him an 8 or a 10. I would retrain Schmidt. But it looks as if Schmidt might be looking for a loan move if we get another player to replace him first anyway. So to go back to the wide players. If he's fit, it'll be Dan James on the right. If James isn't fit, I would then go with Nonto with Ramazani on the left. But I think Farke will probably go with Aronson on the right if James isn't fit. On the left, then you've got the options of either Harrison or Ramazani if Nonto plays on the right. For me, I would have Nonto on the left if James can play on the right. If not, and if we need Nonto on the right, for example, I would put Ramazani on the left. But we'll see. Really depends on who's fit. The team news hasn't been announced yet, which is a little surprising. I don't even think Farke's done his conference yet. I think that's due tomorrow. It's with Leeds playing on the Monday rather than the Saturday or Sunday. That's all it comes down to. So then up front, you've got choices of either Lucas Nemecha or Joel Pirro. I think it goes with Pirro. Nemecha hasn't looked bad. Nemecha hasn't looked bad at all. But I think he would probably go with Pirro. But we are looking for more reinforcements on the wing and up front. We need them. We need some proven goal scorers at top level. So yeah, that would be it for me. I think so. Going through it, if everyone was fit, right, with the current squad, if every single player was fit and available, if it were me, it'd be Lucas Perry in goal. Currently, Jayden Bogle at right back. If we could sign a better right back, then Bogle's position may be up for grabs then. But for now, with what's currently on the screen now, I'd go Lucas Perry in goal if they're all fit and available. Jayden Bogle on the right, Gabby Gudmundsson on the left. Centre backs. See, I like Strauch. Strauch's very good he's a good defender, but he's also very effective from set pieces. You get set pieces towards Strauch, he's in right place at right time, and he can head the ball. He's good at that. But I guess with them being new, it'd be nice to see a partnership of Bornau and Biol, just to see if they are better than Rodon and Strauch. That's the big question, really. And then midfield, Stack, Longstaff, and I'd get another midfielder. Honestly, I'd get another midfielder, but one that's got a few more G&A in them, a few more goals and assists. Just because I think Longstaff's got the experience to boss things in the middle of the pitch. Stack can do a bit of everything. So you kind of then want someone that can maybe just chip in with a few more goals and assists. But in terms of who we have then, I'd probably go to Naka. I think Amadou would miss out. I think Gruev would be a little unlucky. But if we're in a match where we need to do more defending, then Gruev straight on, get him on, because that's what Gruev is good at. He's a good proper defensive midfielder. Ampadu can do it as well, obviously, because he does play centre back as well as defensive central midfield. But with how things currently stand, I would go with Tanaka, Stack and Longstaff. And then that front line, again, it'd be nice to see Nemecha in the 9, just to see if he is capable at this level. But again, it'd be very hard to drop Pirro, because again, he wants to prove himself. He's proved himself at championship level. can he now prove himself at Premier League level? That's what we're all going to see. And then it'd be Dan James on the right and Wilfred Nonso on the left, as things currently stand for me. That would be the 11 for me if I was, if everyone was fit and available. But there we go, folks. Leeds fans, put your thoughts in the comments down below. Who would you like to see feature for Leeds United against Everton? Who do you think, who would you choose? But then also, who do you think Farke will choose based on who is fit and available for the match against Everton? Let me know in the comments. Going to be a tough game, but I'm looking forward to seeing Leeds in the Premier League again. And I would say first game off the bat, as long as we don't lose, I'll take a draw. As long as it's not a draw from a losing position, not a draw from a winning position. Sorry. So if if we're losing and we equalise, that's a good draw. But if we're winning and they equalise, it's a bit of a meh draw in the end, doesn't it? It feels more like 2 points dropped rather than a point gained. Whereas if you gain a goal to equalise and draw the game, it feels like a point won, doesn't it? So yeah, I mean, if we can get the win, brilliant, perfect start. But if we draw, I don't think it's a disaster, because we've got a couple of hard games afterwards, games that on paper are harder than Everton. So yeah, as long as we don't lose against Everton, I'm alright with it. So big thank you for watching. Please give the video a like, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And with that being said, enjoy the match. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.